love you. You can tune to the frail of your soul. Okay, you have probably come across people that possess an inexplicable charm. What's even stranger is that these people could be physically unattractive. However, as soon as one of them starts talking, you instantly forget about his or her physical imperfections and completely fall for his or her charm. If someone... Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, I'm going to read from this little book here, Rustle of the Morning Stars. This was volume number 2. And I'm going to read a part on the soul frail. It's a really beautifully worded chapter. I have to say, you know, it's so funny how sometimes you can see how your thoughts have created your own reality much down the line. And this book is definitely like a really good example of that. When I first got into transurfing 6 years ago, we did not have this book here, and there was virtually no online resources of any kind. There were no Facebook groups or, you know, communities. Really, it was completely unknown. There wasn't a lot of resources. And I paid over $1,200 for the 5 paperbacks. Crazy, right? I think this one was the most. There was only one available, and I think it was like $650. Can you believe that? I paid $650 for that. I mean, it was all third-party stuff. Vadim wasn't selling them for that much, or Vest Publishing. But to get all 5 of them, which I so desperately wanted because the only thing that was available was this as an audiobook. And I wanted the book, so I paid over $1,200 for them. And I remember when I got this one, I was so happy because I opened it up and there were all these notes. I don't know if you can see this, but there's black underline of certain areas. There's highlights. God, it would be really fascinating if somebody that actually did this saw one of these videos and was like, hey, that was my book. But I felt really amazing when I saw that because I didn't feel alone anymore. I felt very alone when I first found transurfing. My mind just sort of blew wide open, and all of a sudden a bunch of stuff was really clear to me that, you know, had been very unclear for a lot of years. And I had all these like all this shifting of consciousness and, you know, importance levels and all my internal stuff. There was a complete upheaval. External, there was a complete upheaval. And I felt connected to this person because I would go through the book and see what they had highlighted. And I just felt like there was somebody else out there that got it. And this is kind of when I softly set the intention to build a transurfing community so people finding this knowledge wouldn't feel alone in the future as I had. And now, 6 years later, looking at this book and looking at these highlights and remembering what I felt at that time of not being alone, and then setting the intention that I'm going to build something and create something so nobody ever feels alone and they always feel that they have a connection to other people moving through this knowledge as well. And then here I am arriving 6 years later. It's pretty amazing. Like, I have to say, it is really a definitive example of something that I've done using this knowledge where I can look back and see a result created from a bit of information that I held on to and decided to use to create my own reality. Isn't that cool though? I mean, how fortunate to have such an experience. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the soul frail. I'm going to read a little from this book and we'll get into it. Before I do, remember to like this video, comment on this video, or question if you have any questions, and subscribe to this channel. Join us on the Facebook group, the International Transurfing Institute Facebook group. Follow me on Instagram, course links below, shirts below, all the stuff below, guys. Okay, so Frail. For those of you that have this book, it's 106. Up until now, we've been talking about sectors in the alternative space having certain characteristics, parameters. For the sake of ease, we've agreed to think of these characteristics as frequencies. If the frequency of your mental radiation matches the frequency of a specific sector, given that there's agreement between soul and your mind, then the force of external intention makes the transfer. In other words, the script and decoration of your given sector are materialized in the layer of your world. Okay, so I want to just unpack that for a quick second because it's a doozy, right? There's actually a tremendous amount of information in just that sentence. So as we have the alternative space, or my visual representation, as I like to draw on, that layers of reality are stacked upon each other in a linear fashion, let's say 10 each day, practical, achievable different layers of reality. The top one being my best, my highest, I'm on fire, I'm productive, I've got the wave of fortune bringing me good stuff, I'm in a state of flow, everything's going well, I'm loving life, my thoughts are high, my actions are high, my frequency's high. This is me existing in the best layer of reality that I can access at that moment. Then you've got the lower level. This is me waking up depressed, suicidal. First thing I do is I smoke a cigarette. I hate myself. I hate my reality. I hate you, right? So this is like the lowest level of reality. The cool thing is, and I know I've said this recently a number of times on different videos, that once you see the value in connecting to your soul frail, these higher levels become so much more accessible. It's stupid. It's like, it really is your transportation device to higher levels of reality. So you've got your soul frail. This is and we'll get into it more in a moment. This is the specific code of who you are as an individual. What you love, what will give you heart and mind coordination, you being true to yourself, you being true to what it is that you want, you being your individual self, not adhering to standards or conditions or expectations of pendulums in your reality. This is you assuming your highest and best individual self. When you start tuning to this frequency, your frequency then corresponds to a layer of reality that is ideal for you. And as he says in this statement, then the set and decorations change. So what that means is that your reality physically will change. Maybe you'll live in a different location. Maybe you'll have a different job. Maybe you'll have a different romantic partner. Maybe you'll have a new creative endeavor. Maybe you will look physically different. So I know a lot of people, like, there was this chick the other day that went off on me on Instagram. She's like, that's not your soul frail when you're dancing. Your soul frail is so much more delicate and respectful than that. That's your ego frail. And I'm like, no, it's my soul frail. Because as I tuned to my specific frequency, right? The frequency of Renee's frequency, my body began to transform, my appearance began to transform, my aura began to transform, my likes, the things that I want to do, like the stupid dancing videos. I mean, I know they probably seem a little bit silly to some people, but this is really just me tuning to my frail. And I have little practices like this throughout my day that it seems the more that I do these things, the better things get for my life. The more I get, right? Physical, material stuff. The more like good vibes I have. I bring that into my world. My mirror responds. My reality begins to transform. So I don't stop doing the things. I do what works for me because I'm experiencing the actual results. So when you tune to your frail, the set and decorations change. Physically, reality will begin to look different, or you will go to a different sector of reality entirely, as I have. I'm living in a state, I'd never had been to before I moved here. Things look very different for me. There's snow outside. I've never encountered that. Lots of physical changes to my layer of reality, which are in tune with my soul frail. I mean, here's kind of a trippy point. I never lived in snow. I've never experienced cold. I've never had a wintry northern experience other than Oregon, but that's more Pacific Northwest, rainy and temperate and all that kind of stuff. So I'm tuning to my frail and things are changing, right? And then we're like, well, let's move to the Rocky Mountains. So then it starts snowing and it looks very, very different. I've never experienced it before, yet I absolutely love it, right? It's like for me. So even the things that you don't know are for you, you will connect with when you start to tune to the frail of your soul. It's like a fucking magic trick. I mean, it really is spectacular. As I move through my reality and in this sort of discovery phase of this new state and this new life and this new state of being and this new way of operating, I'm finding all of this stuff that I never knew that I would even like. It really is comprehensively spectacular, really. The soul of every person has a unique set of parameters as well. It is called the frail of the soul. Again, to make the model as simple as possible, we'll think of frail as a frequency characteristic of a person. The frail of one person differs from the frail of another person, just like the various shapes of snowflakes are always different and none is like the other. Frail characterizes the individual essence of a person's soul. There is no point in developing this definition any further. One could only guess what frail really is, as frail is not obvious. It is hidden underneath the masks of the mind, which every person wears in one way or another. There is no doubt that any of us possesses some individuality and uniqueness. You could describe the personality, habits, manners, and appearance of someone you know, but behind all these characteristics is one integral image that you comprehend without any words. We shall call this particular individual essence frail, something that you are able to comprehend without words. You have probably come across people that possess an inexplicable charm. What's even stranger is that these people could be physically unattractive. However, as soon as one of them starts talking, you instantly forget about his or her physical imperfections and completely fall for his or her charm. If someone was to ask you what makes that person so charming, you could only mumble that there was something about him or her, as you cannot find another explanation. You rarely meet people that are charming. If nobody you know fits this description, then you may find some of these people among the stars in show business. Their most distinguishing feature is the extraordinary beauty and charm originating from the depths of their soul. This is not the cold beauty of a doll. You'll notice it right away. The beauty of a doll corresponds only physically to the demands of the established standards. Very, very valuable information. So the secret behind charming beauty is not that a given person has a beautiful soul or some kind of spiritual qualities. You will have to accept, or not, as you wish, one more paradoxical conclusion in transurfing. There is no so-called spiritual beauty. There is only the harmony between the soul and the mind. If a person doesn't like himself, if he is dissatisfied with himself, if he is doing something he doesn't want to do, or his mind is in disarray, in disharmony with the soul, then he cannot be spiritually beautiful. Any conflict between the soul and mind affects the physical appearance and personality of a person. But if a person is happy with himself, if he loves himself, enjoys his life, and if he is doing what he loves, then it is as if he is glowing from the inside. This means that his mind is set on the frail of his soul. The unity of soul and mind equates the mental energy of a person with the nature of external intention. Being satisfied with yourself or having your soul and mind in harmony with each other also creates something similar. The emotional comfort of your soul light and inner light, which reminds the soul of her true nature. Thus, the beauty of harmony is perceived by people as charm or as spiritual beauty. Such beauty may even make some people envy this glowing person in secret. How come you are all glowing? Okay, I'm going to stop there. And getting back to haters, right? I know that I've got a very, very unorthodox approach to haters. A lot of my team is always like, Renee, why do you even engage with them? Because I engage haters, I really do, especially on Instagram and on Facebook. I will, in the group, anytime a hater flares up, I will engage with them. And I know I can see very clearly what's going on here. The hater is either envious or feeling threatened or confused because they're seeing somebody that's tuned to the frail of their soul, and inside, deep inside, they know that they aren't. They know that they aren't. And soul frail actually captivates them in a positive way, but they don't know how to respond to it in a positive way, so they connect in a negative way. And really, this is all haters are really doing. I have an immense empathy for haters because they're actually trying. They're coming to transurfing because they want to evolve, and then they're seeing somebody like me that's like, totally tuned to the frail of my soul, and they're like, you're a fucking idiot, you're stupid, you're annoying, I hate you, you're a disgrace to transurfing. But really, what they're doing is they're complimenting. They just don't know how to do it. And I know that's really confusing for a lot of people, especially my team. They're like, man, why do you engage with them? I'm like, dude, haters are people too, and they're actually the people that really need the love the most. So I love you, haters. If there's any haters watching this video, I love you. You can tune to the frail of your soul. Okay, so here's a little exercise that I would like to leave you with today. I think we did a pretty good job of explaining what the soul frail is. It's kind of a mystery, but it's like that inexplicable charm that makes someone that may be unattractive seem attractive, or somebody that sort of has it going on. This is classically like an artist that's doing his thing and people are responding, because as Vadim Zeland said just in this short passage, outer intention responds to the soul frail. I mean, these weren't his words, these are my words, but outer intention responds to the soul frail like a motherfucker. This is hands down, without a doubt, how I am able to do everything that I'm doing, how I'm able to have everything that I accept into my layer of reality. All the stuff that I want is coming to me via outer intention because I am tuning to the frail of my soul, and I'm sending this frequency out into my world, and my world is responding to me with all sorts of stuff, opportunities and ways in which I can achieve my goal, and people wanting to engage with me that helps me with my intentions, right? It's like you go from my previous mode, inner intention, not tuned to the frail of my soul, toxic as fuck. That mode was like a machine that hadn't ever been maintenanced, right? my new machine is like a well-oiled machine that's going and doing everything that it needs to do at high velocity, and my reality is responding. It's like it just works in some, it's even difficult for me to explain. But when people are like, why do you do those dance videos? This is exactly why I'm doing the dance videos, because it's sending out frequencies into my environment. My environment's responding. It's bringing me what I deem to be valuable to me, and I'm achieving everything in my life by doing all these various quirky things that are in line with my soul frail. So the exercise that I would like to leave you, I would challenge you, obviously, to start figuring out how you can tune to the frail of your soul, number one. But if you don't know how to do this, because I know it's kind of like a tall order, tuning to the frail of your soul is quite possibly the most valuable thing you could ever do in your life. It's not to be taken lightly. You might have to make some major changes in your life. I know I had to. But if that sounds like a tall order to fill at this point, what I would suggest is to start assessing the people in your reality. Start paying attention to the people you encounter every day and sort of like find a way to measure, do you see that person is tuned to the frail of their soul, or are they not? And start really paying attention to what those visuals look like. So you see some big, huge, fat dude walking down the street looking totally depressed, drinking a big, huge soda, barely able to move, maybe barking negatively at his world. This is the extreme. This is a person not tuned to the frail of their soul. And I know I didn't really get into this, but the opposite of frail is adhering to all the stuff playing out externally. Standards of pendulums, shoulds, being sold stuff by pendulums. And you can definitely start to see this in people, right? Like people that just have a bunch of pendulums on them and it has dulled their frail. Typically, a person that is tuned to the frail of their soul has figured out, without even knowing transurfing, how to get pendulums off them. Once you start to really get the pendulums off you, you can figure out more deeply, hear more deeply, that voice inside that's going to help you attune to your soul frail. So start paying attention to people and acknowledging people that you deem tuned to their frail and people that aren't, so you can start to like resonate with the people that are more and tuning out of the stuff that may be keeping your frequency down. So, whoo! That was hot dog. That was a mouthful. I hope you appreciated this lesson. I hope it gave you some clarity about the soul frail. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe and comment below. And thank you for watching my video. Bye, guys.